I hope you're having a great time. This is the Mike Litton Show. I hope you had a great week, and I hope you're having a great Friday night. I'm Mike Litton, your host, your real estate expert, your consumer advocate. I'm joined in studio by some of my favorite people in the world, the fabulous Madison, the amazing Michael. My kids are here. And a superstar at our Keller Williams in Carmel Valley, J.D. Morris, is joining us in studio. And we were talking about vacation homes, and specifically we were talking about an event they have coming up on February 3rd called Investor Network Nights. And to find out about it, you can Google Investor Network Nights, obviously. You can search Investor Network Nights on Facebook, or you can call JD directly. Call him today, 760-487-8399, 760-487-8399, 760-487-8399. Give him a call today. JD Morris with our Keller Williams office in Carmel Valley. Talk to us a little bit about some of your experiences. And one of the things that you were talking about was some property in Escondido that you went and took a look at, and you were telling me some stories about it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you had the animal
Escondido Humane Society?
Yes, on. It's all focused on that. So, my most shocking moment in real estate was driving out to find a retirement home in Hemet for somebody.
Hemet, okay.
And the neighbor didn't have a dog, didn't have a goat, didn't have a cow. It had a full-size horned bison.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So,
what a pet.
Yeah, so you can imagine when that got loose or got over the fence into your yard, how entertaining that might be. You might, you might have a stampede there. So that was, just something I was driving along and said, "What was that?"
Yeah.
But there's also small stories like like you go to some house and it's not zoned for certain. Obviously a lot of places are zoned for chickens.
Yeah.
But I found a beach home with a goat in it.
There you go.
The funniest story was out in Escondido. Was we were looking for a retirement home where a couple of people could live together, kind of like Golden Girls, in a nice big house. And the person putting together an investment to buy it and then place the people in there walked out the back, and he was like, "Oh God, there's all these flies!" And then he screamed, and then I heard a "Wah!" And I looked down, and there was a 250-pound potbelly pig that he got upset.
Yeah. It was napping in the backyard.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a photograph of that. It was laying on a Charger blanket. So it was a Charger fan.
There you go. It's a Charger fan. That's cool.
Yeah, not a Redskin fan of the old Hogs. But a Charger fan like me. So I'm going to put a photograph of that on Facebook. So if you Google Facebook Investor Network, you'll see that funny photograph of the pig that scared my investor to death. He nearly fell down. It was one of those things I wished I had on video. I could have put on candid camera and made a fortune.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, a house we both saw during different histories of it.
Yeah.
Was the house on top of Escondido, looking down on the bridges, looking down on La Costa.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful house out there. I mean, it is a house that you kind of reminds me of the Moonraker house in James Bond.
Exactly.
It has a bridge going across. I was a little nervous where the bridge would trip and the guy would put me in the pool.
Yeah.
With a big snake. But the funniest thing is, we always talk about the cougars in Del Mar. They got real cougars out there in Escondido. And so I think there's a lot of neat homes, and it's what you want to do. Are you a horse person? My wife can help you. If you're a beach person, I can help you. I love the beach.
Yeah.
And it's just positive story after positive story of changing people's life. I mean, you have two great kids right here you love to death, and you probably take them to the beach every once in a while, or you obviously take them to fun places, and you take this is a fun place too.
Yeah.
But if you have the lifestyle where you can actually walk 100, 200 yards and take your kids boogie boarding every night afterwards, I mean, you're not walking the dog with your kids, you're in the water, surfing, boogie boarding, or doing whatever they love. That's a life changer.
Yeah.
And that's something you're going to remember for the rest of their life. And then hopefully, you do well, you pay it off in cash, and that can become a vacation home. It'll be your home initially, and it might be a vacation home for the rest of the family for the rest of life, for generations.
Yeah, you're giving them ideas.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, you're a realtor too, so I can't sell you a house.
So we're hitting that up for a beach house now.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. Now, I actually listed a bank on property in Ramona, and went out, took a look at it. I'm walking around the property, and I happened to be along one of the fences that's shared with a neighbor. And there was a line of eucalyptus trees, and they hadn't been trimmed in a while, so the limbs were down. The limbs were down around where I was standing, and I was standing looking with my back to this other property, looking at this listing of mine, and basically inspecting it, you know, and I was taking a picture, and I heard this rustling behind me of the leaves. And I turned around and I'm looking, and I don't see anything. You know, you imagine when you hear something that's not normal in terms of like rustling of leaves and that kind of thing, you think there's some sort of an animal up there, or there's some, you know, a person or whatever, somebody's rustling these leaves. I couldn't figure out what in the world it was. And I looked up where the rustling was coming from. And I turned around, and it's a longhorned cow, a Texas longhorn, one
Wow.
of those great big longhorns. And the longhorn, the end of the longhorn, reached out like 3 feet, right? And the tip of it was hitting the. They were down there trying to get to the grass, and this longhorn was hitting this eucalyptus. And what happened was when I turned around and looked, it tilted his head, so the horn disappeared down in the grass, right? So I had to turn around and look down and across to figure out that was actually what it was. They're absolutely silent, except for that rustling of the eucalyptus leaves. And this lady literally raised longhorns.
Wow.
And had a whole bunch of them, like 7 or 8 of them next door to this property. And I mean, it's just, you know, I had another one in Lakeside where the tenant moved out and they did cash for keys with him, that kind of thing. The next day I went back to do an inspection of the property, and there was a goat there. And the goat just looked at me like, this is my place, what are you doing here? You know, I was trespassing on the goat's place. So I called the tenant, I'm like, did I inherit a goat? No. The next door neighbor will take her today, you know, it'll be fine, this and that. Everywhere I went, this goat was like a dog, followed me everywhere I went. And when I stopped, the goat ran into my backside. I mean, it was like a pet. The thing would rub up against me, you know, the whole thing was looking to be petted, you know. And it was a very, very sweet animal, but it's like, you know, I had to try and figure out a way that I'd tell the bank that I inherited a goat. So I ended up going to the Humane Society. The Humane Society calls the tenant and scares him, absolutely terrified. I mean, he was terrified by all the stuff that the Humane Society told him would happen to him because he abandoned this animal. And he ends up showing up and taking